delivering quality education, expanding access to learning, serving learners' learning needs, tackling challenges of the present time, supporting every learner's dream, reaching young Tagumeños where they are today. From the music capital of the Philippines, advancing in the challenge of distance learning. Bringing you quality education straight to your home. Plug yourself in. This is DepEd TV. Tara na!
Let me start by asking you some personal questions. Please be honest with your answers. Do not worry, you will not be criticized with your responses. Are you ready? Are you an emotional person? What are the things that make you happy, sad, angry? When was the last time you cried? When you say that you love someone, is it based on your feelings or emotions? Thank you so much for your utmost participation. Good job! Keep in mind your reactions as we will explore more our inner selves through this day's discussion. Now, I want you to breathe in, breathe out. Ease away from tension. Relax your mind. Free yourself from all negativity and stress. We will veer away from your academics. You don't need to be somebody else today. You just need to be yourself. Do you have any idea what today's episode is about? Let me cut the thrill and be chill for a moment as I introduce myself. I am Kristine Tuba from Tagum City National Comprehensive High School. Join me today in yet another exhilarating episode of LANTAW COMPRE. Tara na! What do you know about emotional intelligence? Where do emotions come from? How are they created? What is the difference between emotions and feelings? You may not answer all the questions now. As our lesson progresses, you will somehow. Now, please pay your attention to our objectives. In our previous discussion, we had a serious take on mental health awareness. You were able to realize how powerful your thoughts are and how it could make or break you. Today, we're going to explore another powerful aspect of our humanity, our emotions. Which of the following emotions have you already experienced? I will begin my discussion by allowing you to look deep into the very nature of emotions.
Goleman posited that all emotions are, in essence, impulses to act the instant plan for handling life that evolution has instilled in us. He added, only the human brain has the capacity to process rationally the emotions being experienced, despite that we are likened to that of animal survival instinct. Meanwhile, neuroscientists have supported the fact that there are parts of human brain primarily involved in the creation of emotion, particularly the amygdala, the neocortex, and the frontal lobes. Neuroscientist Dr. Joseph Ledoux quipped that amygdala is the center of action, the emotional sentinel that can take control of our actions even before the neocortex could assess what to do. Moreover, this is the part of the brain which keeps a memory bank of previous experiences related to emotions. This memory may either go away or is imprinted in our genetic codes. Our basic fear of spiders, for example, may be already embedded in our genes. So, if we see spider, its image is quickly passed on the thalamus, which consequently sends out the pulses to the other parts of the brain. First, into the neocortex, or the thinking brain, then to the amygdala, to the frontal lobes, then sends these signals to the other parts of the body for action. While the prefrontal cortex controls emotions, so we can deal more effectively and efficiently the situation, the amygdala still acts on its own in pushing the other buttons from a body response. The good news is the prefrontal cortex can take control of the amygdala and curb the impulses, keeping it on hold, while it makes sure to process information more soundly. Emotional intelligence lies between the interaction of the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex. Therefore, emotions, no matter how strong and powerful, can be controlled. While Daniel Goleman popularized emotional intelligence, its concept was first proposed by Peter Salvi, a psychologist from Yale University. Later on, he was joined by John Mayer, a psychologist from the University of New Hampshire. Goleman defined emotional intelligence as the ability to motivate oneself and persist in the face of frustrations, to control impulse and delay gratification, to regulate one's moods and keep distress from swamping the ability to think, to empathize, and to hope. Given such definition, do you consider yourself as emotionally intelligent? Do you know of someone who is? As we continue with our lesson, Salvi also identified 5 domains of emotional intelligence, namely, first, knowing one's emotions or self-awareness. Self-awareness brings with it the skill of self-reflection. It is about a person who recognizes an emotion being felt, being able to verbalize it by saying, "I am angry," at the peak of one's rage. According to Mayer, when we recognize such emotion, we have this desire to get rid of it or get out of the situation. Second, managing emotions. Goleman points out that we often have very little or no control when an emotion occurs and what this emotion will be, but we can have control on how long an emotion will last. For example, grieving on the loss of a loved one for a long time will ultimately lead to depression. While it is important to recognize an emotion and experience it, but dwelling on it for too long a time is unhealthy. Third, motivating oneself. Research proves that hope is a major indicator of emotional intelligence. Goleman points out that optimism is a great motivator, and like hope, it provides a person with expectations that things will still out better no matter the adversity. Fourth, recognizing emotion in others. The ability to recognize the emotion in others is called empathy. According to Goleman, the root cause of our capacity to empathize is self-awareness. If we recognize our emotions and how this affects us, then it would be easy for us to recognize other people's emotions too. Consequently, if a person doesn't receive empathy from others, such person may not have empathy for others as well. Although empathy is learned from childhood, the capacity to empathize could still be learned as long as the brain is not damaged or hasn't suffered from deep psychological scars to block the learning. Hence, the golden rule, do unto others what you want others do unto you, can be traced to empathy. Fifth, handling relationships. Emotional intelligence is also how we manage our relationship with others. Howard Gardner, the author of Multiple Intelligences, also with his colleague Tom Hatch, suggested 4 components of social intelligences, which are: first, organizing groups, a leadership skill essential in mustering groups of people toward a common action. People with this talent are military officers, stage directors, and orchestra conductors. Second, personal connection. The talent where empathy and connecting with other people's emotion are manifested. Teachers have this natural ability to effortlessly relate to others. Third, social analysis, or the talent to step out of a situation and objectively from insight about the way people feel and behave. Therapists are born with this talent. It is often believed that emotional intelligence, or EI, or also preferred to us, EQ, or emotional quotient, is more vital in achieving success in one's career or personal life than IQ. Well, we have to recognize that a high IQ is not a surefire to one's success. EQ has been regarded as the crux in developing lifelong skills. Hence, emotional intelligence is important as it directly affects, first and foremost, physical and mental health. Emotional intelligence equips us in managing stress. For mental health, EI helps us see frustrations and challenges as opportunities, not problems. Next, work performance. EI helps us become compassionate with others. We then learn to love even the most difficult people. Lastly, relationships. Emotional intelligence enables us to nurture relationships, to build bridges rather than create walls.
There are more than a handful of books and internet websites which could feed you valuable tips on how to boost your emotional intelligence. You may visit the following websites should you feel the need to. You may also watch the TED video on Goleman's talk, Why Aren't We More Compassionate? On YouTube. Sure, the video will help you restore your faith in humanity. Well, I seriously hope too that you'll take your time in answering all the activities found in your modules, as they are painstakingly crafted to help you recognize and nurse your emotional intelligence. Acknowledging our emotions should not in any way make us feel less, rather blessed. After all, we are human. I want to congratulate you for taking a leap on becoming aware of your emotional intelligence. It takes so much courage to do that. I need also to recognize, however, those who haven't mastered the bravery to do the same. Still, congratulations to you for having the earnest desire to give it a try. Remember to always be honest with yourself in the process. There is no way but forward. Continue to go the distance. At this point, I want you to open page 20 of your module and direct your attention on activity 6, I am. Using your writing implements, complete each statement. We've already reached this far to give up now. It's high time for your most awaited part, the post-test.
This is a 10-item objective test. The first 5 questions will be given for you meaning you have to continue answering the remaining 5 items to complete the test. Write only the letter of the correct answer on a separate sheet of paper. Answers will be revealed after 5 seconds. Number 1. It refers to any disturbances of mind, feeling, passion, any excited mental state. A. Social well-being. B. Physical health. C. Emotion. D. Mental health. The correct answer is letter C. Emotion. Number 2. It refers to the ability of the person to manage and control his or her emotions and others' emotions as well. A. Mental awareness. B. Physical fitness. C. Righteousness. D. Emotional intelligence. Letter D. Emotional intelligence is the correct answer. Number 3. Who popularized emotional intelligence? A. Tom Hatch. B. Peter Salve. C. Daniel Goleman. Or D. John Mayer. Correct! Letter C. Daniel Goleman was the one who popularized emotional intelligence. Number 4. It is defined as one ability to be in others' shoes. A. Empathy. B. Compassion. C. Self-awareness. D. Self-pity. You got it! Letter A. Empathy is the correct answer. Number 5. It is one of the 4 components of social intelligence, where teachers are renowned for. A. Social dilemma. B. Social engagement. C. Social gathering. Or D. Social analysis. Very well! Letter D. Social analysis is the correct answer.
They say, when one door closes, another opens. As we come to a close for today's episode, I hope that you welcome new opportunities which will propel you better know yourself. I could not emphasize this more. Learning to love yourself is the greatest love of all. And we could only do that if we acknowledge our imperfections and our emotional tank is full. Thank you very much for all the remarkable experiences today. This has been Teacher K, Kristine Tuba, your teacher broadcaster, straight from the heart of Tagum City National Comprehensive High School, the LANTAW COMPRE Broadcasting Center. Ciao!